Oh, it's so wonderful to see you again. Come in and unwind. Welcome back to the Celestial Cafe, a podcast for the magical mind.
So come, take a seat. Would you like something sweet? A star drop potion for the soul? Maybe an enchanted eclair as a treat?
I just baked a batch of warm cookies with a dash of moonlight. I wonder what will happen if you take a little bite.
Here is your bewitching beverage. Let each sip melt your worries away. It's time to open your mind. I wonder what magic awaits us today.
Okay, and welcome into a new episode of the Celestial Cafe podcast. I'm one of your hosts. Hey, Shady Lady, and I have with me my lovely co-hosts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'll go first. Wow, I sounded so chipper there. I'm so tired today. Hi, my name's Dugsley. I'm back again in the hot seat, talking about astrology, talking about the stars, talking about the planets, talking about Mercury Retrograde. That's coming up today. No, actually it's not. It's coming.
Tomorrow.
See, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Tomorrow, yeah. Full moon excitement or lack thereof. I definitely got and Pisces energy. I'm so happy to be the conductor of the Pisces train. I'm a Pisces dominant. I finally get to talk about my energy for at least 10 minutes. So that's exciting.
I was thinking about Pisces earlier because I had a really strange dream about, I was like on stage performing, I was playing a banjo, which I didn't know how to play. And I was semi-lucid for the dream. So I was able to even though I didn't know the chords for the song, I was able to make the audience like the song anyway. But I wasn't fully lucid. I was just lucid enough to be like, they're going to like this no matter what. And I got up there and was just strumming bullshit. But I was supposed to be doing a song cover by Jimi Hendrix. And the song was called Pain, which is not a real song by Jimi Hendrix. So I was supposed to be doing a song cover of that. And my brother showed up with an electric keyboard and was playing keyboard for me for this. And then afterwards, my dad was there to pick me up and I was trying to find his truck. So I was flying around the parking lot looking for his truck and I couldn't find his truck. I tell my Virgo father.
So you could fly, but you still needed
I've not
ride home.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a comment about I didn't know I was dreaming, but that's an even more interesting question. I told my Virgo father about this dream, and the Virgo father response to the Pisces rising daughter having these. I'm Pisces rising Gemini, Mercury Gemini sun, so I have the ability to explain the weird dreams and imaginations that I have very well, right? Mm-hmm. And his reaction was just like, "You and your damn dreams," and I was like, That's very.
Wow, yeah, that's exactly how my Virgo partner responds to my dreams as well.
You and your dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've also got Fuchsia and Panthera with us. So how are y'all? Y'all dreaming anything crazy during the Pisces full moon season?
No. Hi,
Oh.
I'm Fuchsia. No, my dreams. I don't dream a lot, so I don't know. I had it was interesting because I had a dream this morning that it was just normal, typical dream, nothing crazy or anything. And then at the very end, something completely unrelated that was very lifelike happened at the very end. And then I woke up and I was just like, huh. That's interesting. So we'll see. It could have been because I have a lot of premonitions in my dreams. So it could have been a premonition of something that's going to happen because it definitely speaks to something in my life right now. So that was interesting, but no weird dreams. But I don't really get weird dreams.
That's all I get.
They're usually just messages to me. So yeah, that's it.
And we got Panthera with us as well.
Hi, I'm Panthera. I'll be talking about the harvest moon today, which I'm really excited for. But I've had a lot of dreams lately. I just don't remember them, but I know that last night I had 3 different dreams. So, and I know that horses were involved in one of them. I don't know how.
Nice.
I don't remember, but I dream a lot about horses lately. I think I just my subconscious really misses my stable job, but
and horses are hardworking and strong and freedom.
Yeah.
right?
The Chariot's definitely my favorite tarot card,
Oh, I didn't
so
unmute
I'm always
myself.
happy to see that
They're
that horse symbolism.
I always associate them with like freedom and power
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like to me, I feel like a horse is like pure Sagittarius, running
Yeah.
wild on the horizon with the sunset and the wind blowing through their big beautiful hair. They can crush anything that's in their way.
Yes.
They're not afraid. Obviously predators.
Yes.
There's some predators that can get them, but I love horse symbolism, and it doesn't pop up very often in my dreams. But when it does, I'm always like, damn, I'm ready to fly across the horizon in my
Let's go.
500
I had
horsepower.
a-
I don't know anything about cars. I'm gonna stop there.
I had a fear of horses for a while.
Yeah.
They were just so big and powerful.
They are very
and
strong. Yeah.
They intimidated me, and I got the mean horse when I did horseback riding when I was 7.
Oh, no.
I wanted Cloud, the really sweet horse, but I got like Roger.
Oh,
Pig.
not Roger.
Not Roger. Roger Klotz.
So I had a bad beginning with horses, but I think I'm getting over it, especially with unicorns. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Horses
Yeah.
are very, I think a lot of people have issues with horses at first because they're not as common as an animal as like dogs and cats. And then
Yeah.
also they're so different than dogs and cats too, because horses are prey animals, whereas both dogs and cats are predators. So
yeah.
they're much more skittish, they're more easily spooked, they're much more defensive than dogs or cats. So it's very easy to freak them out and then they freak you out.
Sure, yeah. Just like a lot of like, it's weird because like I feel like sometimes horses carry like almost like bunny energy where it's just like
Yes, exactly.
Like,
Bunnies
you know
would
what I
be
mean?
the closest like domestic animal, I would say, to them for sure.
Right. Okay.
So I guess I've got like a vanilla spice tea today that I'm drinking. That I am
That's
in love
great.
with.
Oh, yeah,
It's
here
like
at
very
the-
cinnamony and delicious. I've got my nice little mug, and then of course I have my my 3 drinks total.
I was gonna say
I've got my water.
I'm back on the
That was
magical
delivered
3
to
today.
Pepsi.
So here at the Celestial Cafe, we do really enjoy our beverages. So let us know in the chat what you're sipping on today. I am also back on my 3. I got my hydration, my water. I got
Nice.
my energy in the form of a
Ooh.
iced latte
Yum.
with mocha and oat milk. I had to think about it.
I was gonna say that looks mocha-y.
Yeah, ice latte.
Yeah,
The ice is already melted, which I
chocolate.
don't mind. And my flavor drink is my Dr. Pepper. I'm back on my Dr. Pepper shit. This has got to stop.
Oh.
But
I actually think this is the second week in a row that all I got is some water. Thank you. I don't know. I've not been feeling other drinks lately. I'm just chugging water. Listen though, as soon as fall hits, fall is my coffee season. I really, really, really like a nice warm cuppa with the leaves falling. So like you're gonna see some exciting coffee flavors very soon. I'm back on my bullshit. Back in my PSL era. So it's gonna be nice. That's probably gonna be next episode. Some of the leaves are already turning orange, so I'm feeling it. It's in the air.
Yeah, same here. A lot of our leaves are changing, and like our tree in the front yard, almost all of its leaves have already fallen, which is crazy
No
to
way.
me. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So my drinks for today, I also have 3. I have my
shit.
blueberry
Why are we like
green
this?
tea, where the text says, "What can you appreciate in this moment?" So living for the moment. I have my water, and I have my Diet Coke. I'm not a huge fan of Diet Coke. It's too watery for me, but it was the only thing the store had. So
I was gonna say
I
that does
just
not
need-
pass the vibe check.
no,
I
it
don't
does
think.
not. But I need the
No.
caffeine if I'm going to be up at midnight playing Splatoon.
Splatoon. Yeah, valid.
half our cast is huge Splatoon fans. So
And half the cast has never played it. So
oh yeah, that's right. We talked
Listen.
about doing a collab Celestial Cafe.
Yeah, that
moment.
would be fun.
That would be awesome.
So if y'all are new here, wow, that's actually kind of shocking. But this is the Celestial Cafe podcast. We are a twice monthly podcast where we meet up to talk about the full moon and the astrology and upcoming Sabbats and things like that and how they might be affecting you and your energy. And we also have a second episode of the month where we talk about a variety witchy topic. We've covered how we got into our spiritual path, making daily routines and bringing a little bit of magic to your everyday life, and how our intro to tarot, and we've got a whole bunch of other very exciting topics planned. So very much looking forward to those. But you can find more information about us at celestialcafe.org if you would like to find our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Discord. This podcast is originally streamed over on Twitch at twitch.tv/HeyShadyLady. And if you show up early enough, you get to have a chit chat with us before we actually launch into the podcast. We're available on all podcasting platforms, Apple Music and, it's called Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Stitcher and all the good stuff. So if you're listening on podcasting platforms and you want to leave us a review, it helps us out a lot and we would greatly appreciate it. And if you're over there listening audio wise, this is a video podcast. You can either catch it live on Twitch or you can see it on our YouTube channel. The link is on the website. And we're really close to our 100 subscriber mark, so we can get a custom URL. So if you're feeling frisky and want to help us hit that, y'all can pop over there.
Oh, shoot.
And you can find that at bit.ly/celestial cafe to get to the YouTube channel for now. And I think that's all the stuff I have to say for where you find us. But I actually think I'm about to launch into my semi-monologue mode where I kind of do like an intuitive check-in and chat about how it feels, how things are feeling. The main thing there's two words that I keep hovering around over the last couple of weeks. And one word is surrender and another word is tighten. And I keep, when I'm having conversations with people about content and, routines and daily life and all of this kind of stuff, I keep saying like, it's like you're going back. Maybe this has to do with all of the retrogrades that are happening because it's not just Mercury that's in retrograde. There's a lot of planets that are retrograde right now. I think just about everything except Mars and Venus, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And these retrogrades typically mean everything, review, reassess, reinvent, reanalyze, pull back, look at everything and adjust the sails.
Yes.
It's like looking at your journey so far, pausing for a moment and seeing where you're going in the future. And I think it's really important during these types of moments to slow down because I've got a really strong tendency right now to go as hard and fast as possible. Like I'm feeling very impatient, and this is manifesting a lot in my animation process that I'm going through right now. Mm-hmm. I'm binge working on it in a very unhealthy manner because I want it done yesterday, and it feels like it shouldn't take as long as it's taking, but I'm also trying really hard and being like a super perfectionist about it. So I keep extending the time frame on it and the impatience. And I saw something last night that was like endurance isn't always the right move. Like enduring things is sometimes powerful and other times like you're enduring something even though it's grinding you down and you could just step away and take a break to recalibrate and recoup your energy. So I feel like a big message right now is to chill out, calm down a little bit, and surrender to the flow, rather than trying to force everything and go harder than you should. And I think there might be a lot of frustrations and impatience and feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be. You're behind, like you're trying to play catch up constantly. And maybe there's a lot of comparison that's coming in right now. What's helping me a lot is cocooning and hibernating like crazy and withdrawing my energy and not playing the rat race, not looking at everybody, not if I was right now like looking at everyone else's progress, I think that it would cause me a lot of bitterness and not ability to I wouldn't be able to focus on what I need to focus on, and I would feel like what I was making wasn't what it should be. So Like it could be better, like it could be faster, like I should have been successful last year. Like it's a lot of the, and this has a lot to do with like streamer culture and content creator culture and stuff. But I also think this is just social media culture. So I think Dukes uses a phrase that I love a lot, which is eyes on your own paper. I think this is a big eyes on your own paper moment where
Definitely.
I think that the hermit mode that I'm in is allowing me to catalyze and create some really cool stuff. I think that there's big transformation energy that's hitting a lot of people. I'm so glad I remembered this. Okay. I was thinking how, you remember at the start of the year when all of the spiritual people were like, oh my God, February 2nd, 2022, 2222222. And then everyone just stopped talking about 222 after that. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it and I was like, it is it's still 2022. This whole year is 222 energy. And I'm going to play the number games for a second, but when 222, the two cards in tarot are often related to choices and paths, and weighing your options. And then when you add 222 together, you get 6, and 6 is the Lover's card, correct? Which is again a card about paths and duality, choices. So I was thinking about all of the choices that I've made this year and the paths that two roads diverge in a wood and eye. Sorry, you could not travel both. Like straight up Robert Frost energy. Like which road am I going to take? I want to take both of them. I don't want to make a choice. I don't want to have to. And making these choices are difficult, but I think that this is where the transformation energy comes on. You can either decide to stay the status quo where you are, to stay in the energy you're at, or you can make settling. I like that word too. So you can either settle into what you're doing, or you can take the more difficult path, the road less traveled, and forge a new way for yourself that is going to transform and elevate you to a better potential, and your higher calling. What do they call this when you're like take yourself to a different timeline? All of these kinds of phrases, like move yourself into a new matrix. You have the choice at any time. And I think that this whole year, and probably the energy before it and a little bit after it, because it's always like wobbly depending on your own astrology and stuff like that, but your own vibes. But I think that there's a lot of, this is such a strong, powerful, magical year to transform yourself into something else. So and me and Dukes were having a conversation the other day about manifestation and how a lot of people that are in the witchy sphere think that manifestation is, I'm going to think really hard about being rich and then I get money tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to find $25 on the sidewalk tomorrow. And sometimes these magical, I found $25 things happen. But I read some kind of Instagram post that was like, it uses God language. So prepare your ears if you don't like those. But it was like people want cake really bad. And then God gives them the oil, the eggs, the milk, the batter, the kitchen, and the equipment, and then they just get frustrated and leave the kitchen. And I think the metaphor is that's
not me with every craft ever.
You get all of the tools, all of the different, and that's how manifestation works. I love when Dukesley was talking in our podcast episode about how we found our spiritual path, and she brought up Kiki's delivery service and how she saw the red shoes in the window, and how a lot of the movie was passive, subtle manifestation of her getting those shoes through the act of, she would see those shoes every day and she would visualize, I want them. And then how does she get them? She does a little bit every day to make them a reality. And I think that that's another thing that there's, maybe I want to comment a bit on laziness as well. Pisces energy brings out a little bit of laziness too. Comfy, which,
a little bit of escapism.
Yes. And I do think that there is a bit right now about relaxing, taking a break, being kind to yourself, self-soothing. I think that a lot of it is important to step back, but I also think not falling into the pattern of laziness or half-assing is another way I might want to phrase it. I think that it's important to rest and relax and take breaks, but it can be tempting to stay in that space. And then this is where the roads, the paths, the two things diverting comes in. You can either stay in that space of comfortability or you can push yourself out. Another word I want to comment on is discipline. I feel like self-discipline is a big lesson, at least for me this year, of you want something to be different. You want something to change. You have to do it every day, even if you don't want to. And this is why my bed is staying made for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Every day I get up and the first thing I do, fresh out of bed, is make up my bed.
I would love to jump in here
please.
And just add something. So I definitely resonate with this. Something I've been talking about a lot in my world is the idea of my present self and my future self, and sort of preparing my future self for success is like sort of how I'm navigating life at the moment, where it's just like on a really like mundane small scale, it's like I have this object and I could either take 10 steps and put it where it belongs, or I could be lazy and throw it somewhere. But then my future self won't know where it is if I just throw it somewhere. So these days, I'm taking the extra 10 steps to put it back where it belongs. And I think that's been really healthy for me. And that also requires a little bit of discipline, like you said. I also watched a video today. It was I was on Twitter, and it was this girl in front of the camera, and she's just like, listen, like, do you think I wanted to go to the gym today? Do you think I wanted to wake up and go lift weights? No, hell no. I don't want to go to the gym. But you know who does? My future self, who thrives and is healthier and is more in their power when they go to the gym, you know? So, and I can't rely on my emotions right now, because my feelings are just feelings. But my health, my goals, they're so much bigger than just pressing snooze, you know? Like,
that's funny, because the thing that like lit my attention to the self-discipline was also like a girl working out, and it was a comment on basically like, I don't want to be here every day, but the person who gets strong and healthy is the person that shows up even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because my summer job is over, but my summer job kept me really, really active. And since I finished, I've been like, okay, today's the day I'm going to start running again. Today's the day I'm going to start running again. Today's the day I'm going to start running again. And it's just been like that for like 2 weeks. And I need to start it. So like I understand completely what this person was saying, because like I said, actually in Shady's Discord earlier, I was looking through like my Facebook memories, and I had something like from years ago when I was a serious runner, like 2 months ago, I couldn't even run 30 seconds, and now I'm running 2 miles without stopping. And that's just like 2 months. And so I need to look ahead to my future self in 2 months and be like, okay, we're going running. We are getting out there.
And this makes me think back to the conversation we had about routines, where I was talking about how I'm being very mindful when I take my clothes off to make sure they're not flipped inside out. And when I did laundry this week, it took me so much less time. It sounds ridiculous, but maybe it's also because I had a broken arm, but the act of like turning all of your clothes back to the right way when you've got a whole basket and it's every single piece of clothing in there, it adds an extra like 5-10 minutes onto the task. So it was so much. I just grabbed the laundry basket, separated, the darks from the lights or however I separated this week, and then was just able to throw them in. And it's this in the moment self-awareness and the forethought, the forethought of how is this going to benefit me in the future. And this is the same with like making my bed and all of this kind of stuff. And I clean my desk now at the end of every night instead of leaving it for the morning, because when I wake up to the morning to a messy desk, it's so stressful, and a lot of times I wake up and I'm running late, so then I have to add cleaning to that list when it shouldn't have been there. I could have taken it's a lot of stuff like this. And I think that the main words that I want to walk away from like my intuitive check-in is like surrender, and self-discipline, maybe surrender. Another gone from my brain. It's surrender, slow down, ease. I think ease is a good one. Tighten. I want to talk a little bit about Tighten for a second. This comes in with the retrograde energy of reviewing and analyzing. So take a look back over this year, and we'll probably talk about this some with Panthera's with the harvest moon, I imagine. Sure. And take a look at the fruits of your labor, and think about how the processes that have led you to this point, and maybe if you want to adjust, like I don't like how this turned out, I need to adjust this. So it's a lot of I keep using the word tighten because it's like you've got a lot of systems in place that are working, or maybe some things have been working out for you, and you don't have to scrap this whole idea Now you just need to be like, okay, well, like with fitness, for example, it's great that I'm getting out and running, like Fuchsia was saying. But it's actually like when I'm like going running every day, it's affecting, I get back and I'm really sweaty and I have to take a shower. And then this affects my ability to do X, Y, Z. You know, I have to get on call and do this with people or something. So if I could move running to the start of my day, then I have or the end of my day or something, it's moved in a different spot. So now we're just tightening the schedule up. We're shifting it around. We're adjusting. We're analyzing. Does this flow well with this? Is there a different place I could do this? Is there a different way I could I cancel this out here? Could I add a little something here? Could I, it's a lot of review and analyze. So like tightening and
editing.
I mentioned this last time, and this just kind of goes off of, I cannot remember for the life of me where I heard this from, but essentially it's whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So like being very intentional with the way that we want to set our future selves up for, right? And one thing that's really helped me, because I have really bad ADHD, right? So I have really bad like issues with habits. And I remember when I first moved into this house that I'm at now, like being, because I had like lost my job and everything. And one of like the first things that I got really proud of myself at was even though like I wasn't working at the time, I, for the first time in my life, had like a morning routine. And I never consistently had one where it's like, I actually got shit done in like a certain order and everything. But one like way of looking at this, which has really helped me moving forward, is like, you kind of have to suck it up and do it consistently enough where when you don't do it, it feels weird. Like, and I think the best like example I have of that is brushing your teeth. Like that's where you when you brush your teeth every day, you start to notice like when your teeth feel dirty and you want to brush it, or like same with like showers. Like I can like feel when like my skin feels dirty and I want to go take a shower, right? But you have to do that with making your bed or putting away your laundry. I was gonna say that's
where
whatever
I've gotten
it is, right?
With all of my chores and like house cleaning stuff that I've been doing. It's like when my desk is not clean now, it feels weird. When I don't make my bed up in the morning, I come in and everything feels out of like, it feels in disarray. If I don't do the litter box once a week, it feels like obviously Toasty feels that, but I also like it, and the laundry doesn't get done. My whole routines get thrown off, and it sets me up for success to have these things. So it's been nice, like being and again, another word I think we might have to like have an episode on or something, because control keeps coming up for me lately. The word control keeps popping up, and like
we're definitely going to talk about that today.
Oh,
with
interesting.
Retrograde.
Yeah, it's a lot about control. I think that's the major stuff that I have to my like intuitive check. Let me just, I think that's everything. I feel like I want to encourage people to withdraw from their patterns of social. It's not even just socializing, but where you're like putting your energy in a lot every day. Withdraw from it a little bit and kind of like go without for a couple of days and analyze and make sure that you're not like lost in the sauce of it. And make sure that you're doing like it lines up with what you want to be doing. Taking yourself out of energy is the best way to understand if that energy is good for you or not. And that is a lesson hard learned for me, especially when it comes to people that I have emotional ties with. But the change that happens to me when I'm able to, and this is also a people pleaser thing, but being willing to say no, being willing to put boundaries up is very difficult and painful. But I am now like turning into a really good version of myself. And it's not like I've been a bad version of myself, but the cleanliness, I feel, I don't know how to phrase it, but it's like my energy is no longer like gunked down because I've shaken all of those loose. And now it's like, oh, this is who I am. This is me. And I've been muddied over by a bunch of different energies from a bunch of different people that I didn't have the strength or power to say no to. And I let them overflood me, and I got lost with who I was and what I was supposed to be doing. So withdrawing,
I can always tell when an energy isn't mine when it's heavy.
I don't know how to recognize that a lot of times, because I'm a very heavy person. I carry a lot of heavy energy with me just normally. So
I was going to say, you probably also carry a lot of other people's energy with you.
That's very true. And so maybe that's the takeaway here, but I don't notice a lot of times, and I'm not always self-aware enough to walk away from a conversation and realize that they made me feel drained. I don't often do check-ins with myself in that way. And
the more you practice it, the better you'll
I
get.
also think there's a lot of like for me, this is the Gemini plague, but I don't want people not to like me. So I don't want to not like people because that means they're not going to like me back if I tell them no, right? So I will just put up with like toxic energy around me, because if I have to have that conversation with them and be stern or strict, or if I have to be the one to alert them to the fact that their behavior is problematic, then they're going to associate me with that like rejection that they feel when they get told they're doing something wrong or bad or harmful or painful. And so oftentimes I will in the past, that's past me.
Mhm.
Current me, I'm getting so good at it.
I
It's
think
getting
that
so much
starting-
easier.
Starting with this like clean slate kind of now, how you feel like it physically your space is clean, and also like that mirrors, right, the internal. But kind of like what I was saying, like now that you realize like how like free you are without those like heavy burdens, you're going to start recognizing more when those burdens are placed onto you, when the energy starts
Absolutely.
clinging to you, and you're gonna be like, ew, like this
Yes.
feels gross, like get this off of me.
I see it a mile away now. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even hesitate.
It's so obvious sometimes, like the energy that's approaching, and it's just like, wow, I'm not participating in this, I can't. And I think that, well, first of all, one more thing I want to put in, I have a book recommendation for this exact topic. I'm sure most people here have heard about it. Atomic Habits, I think, falls under a lot of what we're discussing right now. I really recommend it. It's just everything to do with rewiring your brain to accept the beauty of radical habit creation that to better yourself. And also just befriending the idea of, being disciplined and being, because discipline, I think, is a scary word for some people. I started adding it to my vocabulary about 2 years ago. And I remember I was talking to my mom. I was like, I gotta be more disciplined. She's like, ooh, I don't like that word. That makes me think that you're like getting in trouble or you're like being punished.
I feel like that's definitely Gemini energy right there. Like, or like Capricorn, like.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I think I need it. I think I need a little bit of like unapologetic structure in my life. Because once again, I'm Gemini, Pisces, both of those are in my chart, super mutable. So I'm not anchored, and I feel like it's important to anchor into routine and habit. And it's hard when you're so loosey-goosey. And also, if you've been so loosey-goosey, it's worked out for you this whole time.
That's what I was thinking, is like, I'm thinking if my 20-year-old self and me now, 34, had to go on a weekend trip together or somewhere, like live together for a week, how much I would hate her. Like how I'd be like, oh my God, don't put that there. Oh my God, just put that in your bag. Like, why do you have to? I would go into the bathroom after she's done doing her hair and makeup, and there's just shit in the sink, on the floor, in the bathtub.
God.
I'm like, why are you like this?
How did you manage this?
It always like when people are like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go back. Or like, and like be young again or whatever. I'm like, I wouldn't go back like a week ago.
I would go
No.
back in a heartbeat. If I could start over at 15 years old, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd trade anything for it. Like, the devil, are you listening? Satan, let's go. I'm ready to make a deal.
I think the earliest I'd go back is like 25. Everything like.
I'd want to
25,
start at
like
15.
a lot
because-
of like life changes at like a lot of shit happened at 25 that has impacted my life since, but like I would not go back before that.
I'd want to go
Not
back
at all.
to younger, because I'd want to take better care of my body at a younger age. I'd want to be able to impact my body in a better way. By 25, everything's fully developed, right?
I would have to go back to like 6 for that.
Okay, vibes, but 15 I would have
Sure.
the mental cognizance to be able to and also I would be old enough to be independent enough to start to make some of the decisions
Yeah.
that at 6 I can't be like, no, I don't want to eat that. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's
I was gonna
for
say,
me.
you're gonna have, like,
no,
the
my
agency.
body's all fucked up because I was too active. Like literally,
Oh,
it's,
you were like the try-hard athlete.
well, did you know how bad figure skating and ballet are bad for your body?
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes. I always wanted to be
Oh
a
my
ballet
God,
dancer,
yeah.
but then you...
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was a
just
figure
watch any
skater.
movie about ballet and you'll be like, okay, never mind.
I got kicked out
was-
of ballet when I was
Yeah.
younger.
I was a figure skater,
Oh,
and you literally
pushed
start
someone off my
skating when
dot.
you're like a year old. I started skating before I could walk, like just pushing a milk crate around the ice. So like you start
Oh my
so young, and it just
crazy.
changes your body so much.
Wow, that's actually insane. I
Yeah.
actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna wrap it up for my like intuitive vibe check. Do we want to
Okay.
switch over to astrology mode?
Well, did we want to do tarot?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Just because it ties into what we were just talking
please
about.
do. Let's go for it.
For tonight, I pulled the 6 of Cups.
Ooh.
Which-
Okay.
This is from my last unicorn
Mm.
deck, which I got to meet Peter Beagle this weekend, and he signed my deck. But
That's so exciting.
so in this card, it is the character Molly Grew. She just met
Uh-huh.
the unicorn, and she's kind of like cradling her face, and it's bittersweet. The first time I held this card, I just cried. But it's it's a bittersweet moment for her because she wanted to see a unicorn when she was young, and she didn't until now. She's like, why didn't you come for me 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Why do you come to me now when I'm old? And so 6 of Cups is all about looking at your past, looking at your childhood, and taking those lessons that you either learned or didn't learn, the lessons that you're learning now, and applying them to your life. And a lot of it, especially with Mercury Retrograde coming up, Mercury Retrograde is about looking in your past, but looking at your past kind of with rose-colored glasses. So this is kind of a little warning. Don't do that with Mercury Retrograde coming up. Look at your past, but like, don't go back to your
Neutrally.
past.
That's a good lesson.
So I just feel like we were just talking about childhood and everything.
That's the
It's
only
like,
scene of the last. No, I won't say only, but that scene of the last unicorn always makes me cry.
always.
Yeah,
I
me
have
too.
I've
seen
never
the movie
seen it.
like
You've never seen the last unicorn? Hold up. Okay, so
Hold up.
everybody stop what you're doing right now and go to the website, celestialcafe.org,
Wow.
or if you are here in the Twitch chat, we're going to drop
Whoa.
the link in the Twitch chat. We're going to have a movie night and watch the last
we're
unicorn.
gonna have a movie night.
Sometime in the
Whoa.
next 2 weeks, sometime before the next episode, we need to watch the last unicorn.
I have it on my computer so I can just share it. It is my favorite movie. I have literally seen it over 1,000 times, and that scene still makes me cry every single time.
We have
So.
to. It's such a beautiful movie. That scene
Moly.
gets to me too because it's like, to me, I interpret and feel it as like Molly wanted inspiration and magic. Like she could have. Why didn't she have the inspiration and magic as a child? Why does it only come when she's old and she's not able to do anything about it? She's already past her prime. She's not able to like. And this is how I feel with like. I could dance, but there's no way I could be what I could have been if I started dancing as a 10-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of feeling, I think. Why did this magical inspiration come to me when I can't do anything with it anymore? Like, why didn't I have this at that's kind of how I think why it emotionally impacts me the way that it does. But yes.
But the lesson with Molly in the movie is that she finds the unicorn now, and she does find that magic. She does find that spark in her life, even though
Yeah.
she's a lot older than she
Age is
wanted
just a
to.
number.
So like you can still do the stuff. Maybe you can't do it like you would have done it when you were 15, but you can still
Yeah.
do all this stuff,
Yeah.
and the spark is still there. So.
And I don't know the movie, but just kind of going off of the themes, and with the harvest moon being this month, a lot of the themes are, of course, of like gratitude and Mabon coming up as well, right?
Mhm.
And I think that part of us, when we're older and we can look back, and it's very easy to think, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? But things were happening at that time, right? Other things were more important to you at that time. And sometimes it takes that maturity and those lessons to be able to go back and reappreciate something with with like the respect that it deserves. So I know we talked a lot about horses today, but like I remember I used to ride when I was like in elementary school, and I remember stopping riding because my lessons were on Friday nights at like 5 o'clock, and I wanted to sleep over at my friends' houses instead. Like I didn't want to go to horseback riding. I wanted to go over to my friend's house because that was sleepover night. And I ended up stopping horseback riding, and then looking back, I'm like, that was like the worst decision like I made. Like I should have continued to do it. I ended up picking it back up in college, but and then as an adult, but
that's how I feel about
now I appreciate it so much more.
That's how I feel about chasing the party life in my early 20s and wanting to, because it's the same thing. Like I want to go with my friends. I want to be popular. I want to be part of the inside jokes. I want to be there. Instead I could have stayed and lived with myself, or stayed at home and lived with my family and just gone out to major events that they were doing. But I could have worked on my art, and I could have worked on my career and my myself instead. And instead I chose to chase socializing and popularity. So I think about that a lot too. Like I think back to when I was 15 to 20 to 25, whenever it was, sometime in the past of my life where I was intimidated or something by a person, and I thought they were really cool, and I felt, I wanted them to think I was cool, and they're so cool and popular and this and that. And then I think about like a couple, like there's so many people in my life where I'm like, I look back on them and I'm like, they were a loser. Why was I so intimidated by them? Like I think about the cool girl when I was in 7th grade, and then I think back to like really who I was like, she was a loser. Like we were all losers. Why was I so intimidated by her? And then I try to apply that to people that I feel that way about now. Like people who now, like today, I'm like, oh, they're intimidating. Oh, they're too cool for me. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. And it's like, they're just a loser. Like quit putting them on this pedestal. Quit acting like, and try to I also wanted to touch on a little bit with the nostalgia vibes and from that 6 of Cups, where I am, and this is probably the retrograde, but I'm there's nostalgia like sucking its little fingers into my brain and making me like wish for the past, think about the past. I've been dreaming about a lot of exes, ex-friends, ex-partners, ex-parts of my life. Like there's been a lot of past memories that are very like, and it's just nostalgia. And you do look back at things and you don't remember how they really were. You remember the good parts. You remember the best parts, and the
rose tinted glasses.
And then you do a lot of like, the grass is greener on the other side. Like I miss how this was. I miss that. I miss this. And then you're not thinking about the reality of it. So
it's much easier to remember the feelings and the vibes rather than the truth.
Yeah,
I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's like what's so abstract about like storytelling and why stories evolve so much from person to person. They grab onto what is relevant to them, and they don't go into what didn't apply.
And I feel like that's the two sides of 6 of Cups, is like it's good to look back, but don't get lost in looking back. Look to your future, and if you liked some of that stuff, think about how you can bring it into your future. But don't like acknowledge not everything. An inner child, like not everything was perfect. And think about it, but like you can bring stuff from your past back into your life. Just you have to do it in a way that you don't get lost in it.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump over to astrology, hosted by the lovely Dukesley. So I'm gonna send us over to that scene.
Hi.
And we're here.
Hello.
We're here.
Am I here? Okay. Hi everyone. Greetings. Apologies in advance. My words aren't working very well today. I'm a little slower with the cog wheels in my brain right now, so bear with me if I make any mistakes. Sorry. I'm doing my best. So, we're talking about the full moon in Pisces. This is really exciting. Really tough astrology, honestly, this month. Not the full moon itself. The full moon's okay, but we are surrounded by dry mercurial energy influenced by Mars. We got it's really, really scorching out here, honestly. So the full moon in Pisces is actually going to be a really nice reprieve from what feels like, oh god, like parched energy, So let's start with some basics. I'm just going to start with the real clinical stuff, right? full moon in Pisces. This is going to be on Saturday, September 10th. It's going to be exact at 6 a.m. EST, 5:59 technically, but we can round up, I think. That will make it 3 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. GMT. So for us in the Americas, we'll be able to enjoy the peaking of the full moon at night, which is nice. We get to see it in all of its glory. Super technical moment here, so forgive me, but it's going to be at 17 degrees, 41 minutes in the second decan, which is ruled by Jupiter. So that's very fitting because Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter. And the card that represents this placement is the Nine of Cups. A very smug, very abundant card. So just throwing all that out there for anyone that's like, oh wow, that I like that. Boop, boop, boop. I'm taking that with me. Perfect. But before we get into the full moon itself, I want to talk a little bit about Pisces energy. And I'm very excited to be the director of this moment because I am Pisces dominant. I love being, so what that means is that, so I'm not a sun or a moon in Pisces. I am a Pisces rising. And I have my Saturn in Pisces as well. So my Saturn return's coming up. Shout out to everyone else who is going to be going through that starting in March of next year. I'm sure we're already feeling, I know I'm feeling the undercurrents of Saturn, my Saturn return. So I'm sure everyone else is too. Pisces energy. Yes, it's a water sign. It's mutable. It's ruled by Jupiter. And I've also seen Neptune. That's modern rulings. So cool beans. I really like the association with Jupiter, in particular with Pisces. I wrote down big dreams, big feelings, big delusions. These are the trifecta of the Pisces way. The first thing I wrote down when I was like writing these notes and I was like, Pisces energy, where do I want to start? I wrote down, what are boundaries?
That's a
Pisces,
really good question.
we are.
What are boundaries?
What are boundaries? It's because, so we think about Pisces, the imagery there is like these fish, right? Which is also very ironic that I'm so Piscean and I have a horrible fear of fish.
True.
There's lots of layers. Yeah, there's layers
so
here.
bad, but I always forget that you're afraid of fish, and then every time I'm reminded, this again.
Imagine if I came in here also afraid of horses. I was also horrified of moths at one point too. I would just be a mess out here. All layers of land. I'm gone. But we got so the boundary thing. I don't want to. And also I think I'm going to be kind of roasting because I feel very comfortable roasting my major sign. So apologies to those who get their feelings hurt, which is probably every Pisces ever.
It's gonna be me.
It's
My
a part of
Pisces
the
rising is like, oh no, don't hurt my feelings.
I know, right? I know. I'm like, I have like a water grand trine and like I could dish it out, but I can't take it. Okay. Like I can pick on you, but if you pick on me, there's going to be tears. Okay.
I'll cry both times. Like picking on you
that's fine.
and you picking on me.
I hate this. So I feel like the big thing with like the boundaries discussion with Pisces, and I'll even say like water signs in general, there's this Pisces can really flow in and out of situations, right? Like I feel like, so we talk often about like social chameleons. I think that is the true Pisces way. They are true chameleons. They're able to just weave in and out of situations, feelings, conflicts, individuals. But that means that they're also picking up a lot of energy along the way. I really feel that Pisces are just like pure energy transmuters of the zodiac. Definitely helps with that water energy. And I look at Jupiter, right? Jupiter's the planet. I always describe it as a magnifying glass. It's that feeling when you're laying on a hill, a grassy knoll, and you see the stars above you that go on forever. That's what Jupiter is. It's that feeling when everything feels expansive and never ending and impossible and possible all at the same time. That's Jupiter, right? So then you put that in a water sign, and it's just this endless sea of feelings and possibilities and dreams. I think that Pisces rules dream work. I feel like that they rule the astral realm, truly.
So jot that down. I'm
a phrase I put down.
Astral.
Jot that.
Just kidding.
See you on the astral plane.
Sprinting. A word I wrote down was formless and blurry. I
think
I say that with love.
A thing
I say that
for me
towards
was
myself.
I remember when I've had some really tough conversations this year. I remember saying the phrase, "I can't tell the difference between you and me." And I feel that a lot
Boundaries.
with a lot of different people. And like when I get into a workplace, like I become so integrated with like the coworkers and the identity of the group of people there
Right.
that I can't tell the difference between me and the other. And that's the blurriness. And I like that word for Pisces, blurry.
Yes, yeah, like there's just no beginning and no end to Pisces, I feel sometimes. And I think that's both, of course, a positive and a negative, because it can lead to these endless connections, this almost like childlike and elderly and wizened state of mind, this balance between the two where they're just able to be everything and nothing at once. And I wrote down super sensitive. All water signs are, but I think that in particular Pisces are sensitive psychically, spiritually, emotionally too. But they are in tune on another level. I really feel that way. I wrote dreamy, ungrounded, admittedly. Empathic. We always say, right, it's a meme, right? Like, I'm an empath. Like, but I really think that Pisces energy is like the cornerstone of that mindset of just, we're all in this together. We're all feeling it out. We're all doing this together. I wrote down escapists. I think that's one of the most common things that people associate with Pisces is yeah, because I mean, if with everything I said, we're constantly flowing in and out, absorbing everything, becoming everything, rejecting everything, it's hard to carry all that if you don't know how to manage that energy. And we don't live in a society that teaches us. I wrote down like Pisces energy, Pisces people. We don't get muddled by facts or logistics or analytics. We don't need any of that stuff to know how we feel. Right? We're feelers. We want to feel these things. We want to navigate through life simply through the vibes. That's like our goal. We are not preoccupied with analyzing and breaking down, which is really tough for my Gemini sun moon. There's definitely for the record, I feel like I'm constantly at odds with that Gemini influence. That's so I don't know, knowledge seeking and brain expansive, when I also have this extreme pull to just be like, that's nice, but let me just feel it out. Let me just like check in with the vibes instead of just like always trying to break things down logically, you know? And for the record, since this is a full moon with the sun in Virgo, this means that they're opposites, right? So Pisces, Virgo, opposite energies. What does this mean? I wrote down for Pisces and Virgo, respectively, Pisces is fantasy versus Virgo's reality, feeling versus analyzing, intuition versus consciousness, energy versus material, spirituality versus logistics. You know, like it's the Virgo is the handyman of the zodiac, right? They want to invent and create but the thing is that I think that how they are the same is that I feel that Pisces and Virgo, they're often in service. I think that Pisces likes to offer the emotional support, while the Virgos help with the physical tasks like organizing and planning. And like Pisces carries the faith that everything is going to work out just fine, while the Virgos need to understand all the moving parts to make it all work together. I wrote down they make great partners in crime, and I gotta say my partner's a Virgo dominant, Pisces dominant, so it's a little biased. I think that this is one of the strongest axes because I think that the connection between the ethereal, non-tangible, and the very earthy groundedness and hands-onness of Virgo is just like a perfect storm, right? But enough about Pisces. We're going to talk about the full moon. And before we talk about the full moon, it's important that we start this full moon conversation with Mercury retrograde. This one's a doozy. Like, sometimes we get some Mercury retrogrades where it's like, yeah, okay, it's another retrograde, which is worth mentioning that retrogrades are not this big boogeyman that's like, oh, God, like, everything's falling apart. This happens all the time. This happens regularly. Retrogrades are a part of the planetary cycle, right? It's common, it's predictable, we know when it's gonna happen, we know, like, it's not like it comes out, go, boo, retrograde's here, like, we all know when it's going to occur. And I wrote down, so let's break down this retrograde, right? Mercury, planet of communication, information, cognition. Libra, air sign of diplomacy, social relations, and the seeking of harmony. What does this mean? So I feel like we are going to be revisiting, there's an R word, or RE word, right? Revisiting and editing our interpersonal relationships and power dynamics. I think is what we...
That vibe check I gave is coming right in.
and I... Something that I didn't write down but is worth mentioning, like, Mercury is, like, dancing around with Mars a lot too right now, so we got this dry, which I think Mercury can be either dry or a wet planet, like, but I think that with that Mars influence, I said it jot that down, and like, Mars is just so dry. Mars is definitely a planet of action and assertiveness, and I don't know, like, I feel like I want to fan myself when I think about Mercury retrograde right now. Like, it's just so much heat. And I really want to encourage, also, please back up your files. Like, shit,
Holy
like, this
moly.
is going to be...
Don't even get me started.
Please back up your files.
The scares that I've been having with my editing and animation are making me paranoid every 3 seconds, Control S person. So save, like, don't just save them often, but also have, like, different, like, duplicate the file.
Yeah, create it, put it on your solid state, like, put it somewhere else too. Like, you need doubles, triples of these saved everywhere. I swear, like, it's really important for this Mercury retrograde.
If you mod your games, just
if I lost this
right
animation I was working on, I would actually, like, dot fill in the blank, and you're probably right.
I broke my RimWorld game again. I added on too many mods, and I don't know which one's broken. And now I have to rewipe them all.
Happening.
I have like 300 plus mods on here, and I have to go through now, and I have to... Steam mods are horrible because you have to go to the workshop and you have to hit unsubscribe and then resubscribe to every single individual one, and you can't just do it on one page. You have to actually individually go to each mod page, and it's the worst.
That's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my god. But yeah, so
I
like,
can't say I'm having any tech issues, so
well, just you wait, Fuchsia. Yeah, I was like, no, you
Knocking
better
on
knock on
wood.
wood.
yeah, I was
over
gonna
there.
say, what do I hear? All right, Apollo, flying a little close to the sun, are we?
Icarus.
All right.
I gotta say,
Oh,
like,
Icarus?
for
Apollo.
me,
Who's Apollo? Who's Apollo?
Apollo's
the sun god.
Sun god,
But
yeah.
Icarus
Oh, so I was
is
adjacent.
Icarus is
Yeah,
the one
you're-
that
you
flies
know.
too close to the
You
sun.
got it.
I was like one step
You would
away.
have gotten like half credit on a test.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with that. I had the right
say-
spirit.
For me, the beginning shadow phase of the retrograde is what's always worse for me. Like, the shadow just fucks me up, and then the retrograde is all dealing with the fallout of that. And this one has brought up nothing, so I'm hoping this will just be smooth sailing, please. So I mean, like, if something's going to happen, I'm going to be taken completely by surprise, since nothing happened in the shadow phase. But
Fair enough.
yeah.
Do you have Mercury retrograde natally?
No,
Oh, okay.
the only retrograde I have is Chiron.
That's your only retrograde?
Yeah.
Cool. Good for you. You killed it.
My wounded healer
You have
is
won the birth chart.
retrograde.
Very nice. Good job, everyone. Killer charts we got out here. No, I only got a couple, I think. In some ways, I think that having retrograde natally is sort of a plus, because
you're dealing with that energy your whole life.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And so then when people are thrown into that energy, they're like, and you're like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what else is new? Tell me something I don't know. That's how it feels sometimes. But yeah, this retrograde, I just really be aware of conversations that you're having. I'm getting a big, like, who's lying? Like, who's lying out here? Like, who, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm scoping out to see, like dynamics that are just based on ego and just it's gonna crumble, right? I that's what I'm feeling like, and that also applies, of course, to the people listening. Not saying that people are out here lying straight up, but also lying to yourself, I think, is worth mentioning. But I really want to drive home, like, be aware of the way that people assert their power over you in conversation during this retrograde.
I feel like this retrograde is very Seven of Swords energy, and also like King of Swords reversed. Like
sevens, I think, are a big one here. I'm thinking of like Seven of Wands too, with the guy with the stick, and then there's a bunch of little sticks under there. Yeah, like and it's just like you have to sit in that truth. I feel like I see the full moon sort of as like a spotlight for this retrograde moment. And I mean, this is only the beginning, right? Like the beginning of the retrograde. So I feel like that this full moon, take advantage of this full moon, right? And I'm gonna be talking about the full moon. And this is why this full moon is so important, because of this dry, mercurial moment that we're going through right now. And then we have this watery, plush, like psychic Pisces full moon that you just want to get lost in, conjunct Neptune. Holy moly, you get lost in the sauce, and maybe you should. that's kind of another thing I want to talk about. Maybe we should get a little lost in the sauce this full moon, because especially because the rest of this month is going to be so tepid, so sharp, astrologically. There's Mercury's going to be hanging out with all these planets while in retrograde. I don't want it's going to be interacting with Venus. It's going to be interacting with Mars. It's going to make its way around. It's a little hoe this cycle, and
Stop.
It is just it's just especially
Mercury's entering its hoe era.
I love that for them, but it's just a little too much for, I think, most individuals. And so I think that a really good way to take advantage of this full moon is, and of course your mileage may vary. Maybe you're like, oh my God, all I've been is lost in the sauce. All I've been is in my dream world. If that's the case, lean into Virgo. Lean into the Virgo sun. Okay? Get organized, get analytical, get logistical. And but I feel like a lot of us should take advantage of this deeply watery moon. I recommend dream journaling. I do most full moons, but this one especially with this Pisces influence. This is a very especially with conjunct Neptune. It's very imaginative.
Last episode, Panthera and I both talked about how we used to dream journal and we haven't in forever, and so I finally started again. So.
Really? Oh, that's
Yay.
great. That's a good habit to start. Honestly, I think everyone can benefit from some dream journaling, journaling in general, truly. And I think that I'm feeling called to like have just like this big luxurious bubble bath where I just take care of myself. I'm definitely staying in my lane this full moon and this retrograde. Forget it. I am not dealing with any ego. I don't want to hear anyone's BS.
I feel so happy to be like isolated right now. I feel like I'm so like free and
In my
and
lane,
easy.
moisturized.
Unbothered.
Yeah, unbothered. For real. Like, I am not.
My crops are
seriously.
watered.
Oh yeah, like there's no. You could not pay me to interact with people frivolously for until like next month. You know, like it's. Nuh-uh, not right now. And not to mention, so we touched upon this earlier. With everything's in retrograde right now, right? Except, so I'll just list them all, which is longer than actually listing the ones that aren't in retrograde. Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, and the nodes are all in retrograde right now. So also, what does that mean, right?
That leaves the sun and the moon, pretty much.
The sun and Venus and Mars. That's it. Okay. If the moons are going retrograde,
Right?
Oh my God.
I think that's the apocalypse.
This would be the sign of the apocalypse. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that's the end of times.
Honestly, logistically, like if it started going retrograde, it would fuck up so much in the earth. Like
It would
everything,
actually be end
so-
times. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
would.
it's
Because
all
it would
over.
probably cause like weird flooding and tsunamis and shit
All
like
of the
that.
times
Yeah.
reverse,
Yeah.
at least, right? Like,
So funny. And so once again, please, like, life must go on, right? Like we can't stop everything ever. I am. But I also have the privilege that I could just like literally not talk to anyone for a month. But like seriously, like life must go on. Let the retrogrades retrograde. However, if you have the power, this is like not a time to like start things, make big decisions, control anything. This is retrograde is about releasing the control, letting the universe take control because
Surrender.
surrender.
Hear that, Shady?
my land party starts tomorrow on the same day as Mercury retrograde. And I'm like,
You know what that means?
no.
You get to put in your earbuds and you go, have fun, everyone.
That's so
You have to
hard.
relax. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I don't think you should
Yeah.
do that. But like, I don't know. So that is like the general retrograde rule where it's just like, you know, like let the universe take its course and find comfort in that too. The fact that the planets are going to planet and the celestial fun is going to be celestial, you know? And I think that too many people get jump scared by hearing like 8 out of our 10 big celestial influences are in retrograde, but I kind of find comfort in that. It's sort of like when we were driving and you're like on a highway. Like you can't be on the highway forever. Like you go into like another town for a little bit. And you take the scenic route for a little bit, and then you go back on the like. It's just not efficient to always be going 80 miles per hour straight ahead. You know, sometimes you get a little detoured. That's what retrogrades feel like to me, where you just kind of go, oop, let's go somewhere else for a little bit. But you're still going to your destination. It's just a little different now. It's a little bit of a different scenery, different environment.
Little detour.
Yeah, that's all. It's I think that's a palatable way to ingest retrogrades, right? Instead of catastrophizing them, which is what a lot of people do, which I don't think is fair to the planets. This is because, like I said, this is a part of their cycle. This is a part of their trajectory.
Also, most of what any retrograde stirs up is stuff you brought on yourself. So it's just hey,
I think
you didn't deal with
especially
this,
with like
so we're gonna
Mercury
make
being
you.
in Libra retrograding.
True.
I think karma is probably a big theme right now too. Like
Yeah.
you reap what you sow, and so does everybody else.
Definitely,
It's
I
harvest
agree with
season,
that.
right? What have you been planting the last 8 months? It's
Yeah.
about to come
Oh.
to fruition. So
True. What else do I have here? This moon in particular, really great time for energy cleansing, Reiki, just really like fluffing up that aura of yours, right? And like I said, this is just Pisces energy in general. This is whenever Pisces is in a happy state, it's always a wonderful, auspicious time to take care of your spiritual, non-tangible body.
I think it's
right?
probably a really good time for cord cutting and removing the energy,
Yes.
which is great because that's actually what our next episode is going to be
True.
about on September 22nd. We're going to have a whole chat about energy cleansing and energy work and cord cutting and things like that. So I'm very excited for that chat.
That reminds
Yes.
me too. I want to go ahead and say before I forget, but we'll be doing a group spell after
Oh.
the episode in the Discord. So go ahead and join the Celestial Cafe Discord if you haven't yet. It'll be happening right after the show, maybe with like a little bit of a break in between for the hosts. The only things that you will need is bay leaves, as many as you'd like. I would recommend at least 3.
The whole jar.
A Sharpie or some sort of marker, a writing utensil of choice. If you have magical ink or anything like that, great time to use
Well,
that. And then something to light a fire and a fire safe dish or cauldron. You could go outside for this if you're in an area where you can
Fun.
light fires outside, and so on. So we're
Cool.
gonna be releasing some things, so it's gonna be fun.
Sick. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
it's also the autumn equinox, so nice time for balance,
Yeah.
True.
which I'll be
Um,
talking about.
But more witchery-esque, I want to recommend moon water for this cycle in particular. Specifically making moon water for dream work, inner clarity, that kind of stuff. Like I said, the Pisces is all about that astral realm, and I think that a part of dream work is getting closer to your subconscious, which leads to inner clarity. So I'm making moon water personally. I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I've had a nice big jug of that to use as I will. And like I said, I am taking this phase very slow, very mindfully, little social interaction on purpose. I was thinking of actually just like uninstalling Twitter for the month, and
I think that's a beautiful
just-
idea. The best
yeah,
thing
just-
I have ever done has turned off
no pressure.
all notifications on my phone for all social media, and I no longer let them
I do that.
control my attention. Like I go to them when
Yeah.
I want to. I don't care if somebody just followed me. I don't care if someone just liked a tweet that I commented on 3 days ago. I don't care. Like I'm
Nope. I
I've
agree
never
with
had
that,
my
yeah.
phone notifications on. Like, I
Wow,
don't know
you're so
how.
cool.
Me neither.
Look at
I-
me.
I hate-
notifications
I
drive me nuts.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm not addicted to validation. Wow, cool.
No,
I mean, it doesn't stop me from booting it up, but I
I
just
just
can't
hate-
deal with notifications.
Yeah. I hate notifications in general. The only thing I have notifications on besides my email is Discord. And that's because I'm usually like
I have it turned on for
having DM
everything except my
conversations with
emails.
friends.
Is how I am now. I feel like I don't,
Yeah.
actually don't even have notifications on for my emails, but I have them very prominent on my cell phone like wallpaper thing.
Gotcha.
I would forget to check my
Widgets.
emails if I didn't have notifications for them. So
True.
they're there.
Oh yeah, I'm the same
Yeah.
way. And a word that I also put down is discernment. That's a pretty common word in my vocabulary as is. But like I said, with all the ego, with all the, like I said, like I know like liars, that's like could be a trigger word, right? But like seriously, I can see that being a problem with all these transits and all of these planetary influences right now. Just people trying to get their
I would
way.
also say like exaggerators.
Yeah,
and like attention
yeah.
seekers and people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that manipulation would also be pretty like
Yeah.
And I think that's why I was so like hermit mode, like withdraw, because shit's fucky right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to be influenced. You know, I want to influence
You hear that,
myself. I want to be
influencers? You're
influenced.
canceled.
Hear that? I'm not falling for your nonsense. No more. But there's just like a lot of clownery out there, and I just refuse to participate right now. I usually do, but now I especially do. And I don't know, like there's just so much chaos. Like I'm also planning on keeping my I usually do, but I want to recommend like just keeping this magic that we do, like just keeping it close to ourselves, close to our heart. I feel like whatever I'm doing with this moon and whatever I'm choosing to release, I'm just giving it up to Luna, and I'm letting her take care of it. You know, like she's got this, because this is a lot of energy to work through, and I'm gonna be fine, but I think that a lot of people there's gonna be a lot of truths coming to light, including some ugly truths. You know what I mean? And some really harsh truths about like, oh, by the way, I've been leading a second life for 6 years. Like, you know, like oddly specific, but like like stuff like that,
honestly.
like just nonsense like that, I think is gonna come out, like Reddit's r/relationships nonsense that sounds like fake stories, but they're actually real and horrifying. But I think that's all I have to say. I do have some homework for those who care and want to indulge in what's poppin'. I recommend checking out your chart, checking out where Pisces is, and check out what house it's in particular. And my homework is, how can you nurture yourself with the scope of that house where Pisces lays? For example, if you have like an 8th house Pisces, the 8th house is all about actually the 8th, why did I choose the 8th house right now? The 8th house is probably one of the more complicated houses, where it deals with everything that's that we give or that we give up. It's death, sex, taxes. You know, like that's the
I'd love
very
to give up
cliche.
taxes.
Yeah, like that's us giving things away, and you know, like power dynamics at play. But like, I don't know, like an 8th house remediation, I feel would be like a guided meditation that's focused on like self-love. I feel like meditating is a good way to remediate like 8th house issues. Or like a 4th house Pisces would do something like like clean their bathtub and scrub it down and then give themselves like a nice big bubble bath, you know, stuff like that. I also wrote down an affirmation for this moon. I speak my truth clearly and effortlessly. I speak my truth clearly and effortlessly. I think that's important right now. We too don't want to get sucked into the Mercury retrograde nonsense. Who knows? The planets are crazy, and so it's something to lean into during this chaos. And sometimes when we affirm those things in ourselves, we can more easily see when others do not apply those affirmations. I speak my truth clearly and effortlessly. Something nice to sort of tell yourself in the mirror, making eye contact, creating that, I don't know, harmony within yourself. So yeah, just quick recap. Big, wet, oceany, psychic, moon. Very cool.
Big, meaty.
Not all of
Claws.
breaking down.
We're all 12 years old.
We're all children. Yes. That 6 of Cups coming in strong.
It feels like an oasis.
Our inner child said, "What?"
I like
Ooh.
My
Because-
6-year-old wouldn't have laughed at that. My 6-year-old would have laughed at like booby or something.
Yeah. I don't know, like, use this full moon as a reprieve. Use this full moon as a checkpoint, as like you're in the desert and you find the oasis and you eat the big yummy cactus fruits or something, and you put your head in the water and then you keep going. You mind your own damn business as Mercury retrogrades and stir some energy up. I don't know. I feel like this Mercury retrograde is going to matter more than others. That Mars influence, and I don't know. Just look out for yourselves out there, and just be very aware of the bullshit that will occur and will come to light. Be very discerning. Some upcoming astrological stuff. Libra season. September 22nd. Look at that, Panthera here to party.
My birthday's coming up.
When's your birthday, Panthera?
It's the last day of September, so the 30th.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
That's fun. So another thing that happens, Mercury is going to be re-entering Virgo because it's in retrograde. It's heading back on September 23rd, worth mentioning. And then we get the Libra new moon on Sunday, September 25th. That's going to be nice. It's going to be nice and calming. And then Venus will enter Libra on September 29th. I think that is super harmonious. That is a beautiful connection to be creating. I believe Venus rules Libra. So
Yep,
it is super harmonious. I think that we're going to get a nice breath of fresh air with that. Because Venus is just like straight up not having a good time right now in Virgo. Or did I say that right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think I said that right. Okay, cool. But that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.
For those who
Yes.
do suffer through Mercury retrograde and are wondering when it ends, that's October 2nd.
True. Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our Panthera segment. Okay.
Wow! Oh my God! Harvest Moon! Woohoo! I'm so
Harvest
excited!
Moon.
So much to harvest. All right. So this month we have the Harvest Moon, and one thing that's kind of fascinating about this full moon in particular is this name of this moon actually changes. Every other month usually has a traditional full moon name that is the same for every single month. However, the harvest moon is the one exclusion to that. The harvest moon is actually the moon that is closest to the autumn equinox, or Mabon, and it can be in either October or September depending on the year. So this year is going to be in September, so we have our harvest moon this month.
Crazy.
And our October moon will be the hunter's moon. If the October moon would be the harvest moon, then the September moon is usually called the corn moon. If you guys are interested as well, too, I do have this all up in a blog post format, so you don't have to take any notes. Don't worry, I got you covered. It's all there.
Wowie.
So, yeah, the harvest moon is named after the harvest, right? So, and Mabon, or the autumn equinox, is specifically known as the second harvest festival. Fuchsia will be going over that more, but this is the time where everything's coming in. At least in the northern hemisphere, our growing seasons are getting close to an end. So everything has to come in. Everything needs to be stored away. Apple season is just getting started. Our pumpkins are starting to be harvested. Corn is coming down. So
That
of it
reminds
is
me, I
just
had a dream
coming in.
about rotten apples. I just realized
Oh.
that, and
Oh.
I've been keeping an apple in my room, and I found an extra apple in the fridge today. So apples, yeah, I had a dream about someone like taking a bite of an apple and then it was rotten in front of it.
That's fascinating.
I just asked for Honeycrisp today.
What does that have to do with
Oh.
apples?
Honeycrisp.
That's type of apple.
That's an apple.
Oh,
It's like the best kind of
there's
apple.
You should try it.
Yeah.
Honeycrisp are pretty good.
It's
I like
very
pink
sweet.
It's a
ladies
cereal?
too.
I'm thinking of honeycomb. Okay,
Yeah, I
got
was
it.
gonna say.
yeah.
Hold on now.
Or like Golden Delicious is like another type of apple, right? Like there's a bunch of different Granny Smith apples, right?
I
Like, there's
love
a bunch of
Granny
different-
The
Smith.
best
Oh my
apples are the
God.
big,
Yeah.
dark, juicy red ones.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I
Big,
like the
juicy
pinky
red
ones.
My brother likes
pinky
the like
ones.
light, like a gala apple. I think it's called.
I love Gala.
Yeah, those
I
are
love
pretty good.
dollars.
I
love
don't
pink
like them because they're
ladies.
grainier. They're
Sweet.
softer. I like the really hard, juicy, like.
See, those ones hurt my teeth, I think.
So
The
use a
dark
knife
red
and cut
ones.
little slices off.
I
It
could
makes
do
it
that,
so.
but
It
I'm
makes it so
lazy.
fun. You feel.
Peanut butter?
You get to feel cool. No
Oh.
peanut butter with apples. That's weird behavior.
What? What do you mean? What?
I need
Wait,
to know
Dukes
everyone's
is
in
about to
chat's
throw
favorite
down here.
type of apple.
Hold on now. Wait, no, that you should try it. What? You should
I
try
have tried it.
Honeycrisp with peanut butter.
I will for you, Dukesley. I will for you. But I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest peanut butter fan, so I very rarely want or like peanut butter.
What?
What?
It makes my tum tum hurt. It's a lot. It's very heavy. It's
Okay.
very heavy.
You should
and it
try
gives me
cashew
bad-
butter.
It triggers my reflux, yo.
You should
Yeah,
try.
I only like
almond
peanut butter in a Reese cup.
Yeah, peanut butter Reese's cups. Sometimes I really want a PB&J.
Oh my god.
And sometimes, but I
don't
think
like
this is only when I
peanut
haven't been getting enough protein, like supplementing protein in my food. I just want a
Mhm.
spoonful of peanut butter, but that's very rare. Like,
Oh,
it's kind of like when I get like a
interesting.
random craving for red meat, and I'm like, oh, I must be iron deficient right now or something.
Need a steak. So, with the harvest moon being either the last full moon of summer or the first full moon of autumn, this moon kind of embraces themes of moving towards the darker months ahead and preparing for the cold winter times. So, some of the magical themes that could be done during this year or like are particularly potent during this time of year are kitchen magic, hearth magic, great time for house protections, really anything regarding the home. Preparation or preparedness, harvest, abundance, prosperity, gratitude, balance, and transitions. Because this is very like liminal time, right? We're at the halfway point, especially with Samhain coming up too, which is another liminal time for a different reason. It's just a very magical time of year in general. So our correspondences for the Sabbath our colors are brown, green, orange, amber, and red. Very typical fall colors. Some great crystals to work with during this time are citrine, peridot, bloodstone, amber, quartz. My favorite, tiger's eye, ruby, gold, and aventurine. Some great deities to work with are Demeter, Brigid, Freya, Vesta, any like harvest god or deity. This is also a good time where like if you're working with more seasonal deities like Persephone, for example, is getting prepared for her like venturing into the underworld.
I was gonna say she's getting ready right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk a little about that.
Cool.
Okay,
Just
cool.
She's my
Just a
homie.
little.
Some great herbs for this time of year are witch hazel, flax, wheat, apple, valerian, and skullcap.
Ooh,
Great
Valerian.
trees to work
I
with.
love
I love
valerian.
valerian.
It's the only thing that puts me to sleep if I can't sleep.
Oh yeah, it tastes so bad though.
It does. Oh my god, it smells
it
so
does.
It's horrible.
Except actually, so like tea wise, the trick with valerian, because I drink tea with valerian root, the trick with valerian tea is that you don't put boiling water on it.
Oh.
You put just before it starts to boil. So it's really hot, but it's not boiling, and then it doesn't taste as bad.
Oh,
That's good to know. I've just been
Life hack.
drowning it with honey.
yeah, literally, that's all I do.
I was like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. So come to the Celestial Cafe. We have tea tips.
Yeah.
True.
So some great trees to work with are bay, larch, hawthorn, and apple, of course, as well, too. This is a great time. Like, fallen leaves are such great, like, magical tools, by the way. Definitely. That would be, like, a good challenge for you guys, is see how you can incorporate fallen leaves into your spell work this season. And then the element for this moon is earth. So just very like grounded, homey, right? Everything's coming in. I just love it. It's like cozy time. I got my blanket.
Yes.
I've got my tea. We're ready.
Yes.
So if you want to swap us over, Shady, I have our tarot spread for the month. And so if you guys are interested and want to pull out your tarot cards, we have a special tarot card for this month, and feel free to share with us what you pull for this in the Discord if you're interested. So our first card is, what in my life is currently ready for harvest? What do you need to like collect right now or bring in? What do I need to cultivate more of in my life? So I look at this as kind of like a reflection on the past summer and preparing for the upcoming spring, right? It's time to see, what did I need more of this past summer? And what do I need to start thinking ahead for next season? And then lastly, what do I need to store away for the coming winter? What are you going to need more of? What do you need to soak in now during this last little bit of warmth, right, before the cold season's ahead? So once again, yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and share with us in the Discord. Yeah. What do you guys think? Did anything come to your mind with these?
I'm always interested in actually pulling the tarot cards for your spreads, because I'm always, as soon as you start asking them, like, what do I need to cultivate more of?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I'm glad.
what is ready for harvest?
Yeah. What should
I
I be storing?
No
away?
idea.
I pulled the space cat.
Oh. Need more space cats in your life.
Yeah, I'm definitely in detriment for that, for sure.
That could be fun. We could start pulling cards for Panthera's tarot spread and chatting about them a little bit.
If you guys want
It
to, that'd
says-
be awesome.
So it says Space Kitty, exploration and experiments.
Oh.
What am I-
Ooh.
Whoa.
Time to test some new things more. You need
That's
to go out of your
fun.
comfort zone a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. Are you my therapist? That's crazy. How did you know?
I am not licensed for that.
Tarot
Disclaimer.
is just a cheaper therapy.
It says, what do I need to cultivate more of in my life? And I got the sumo cat.
Oh, this deck. What is this, seriously? I need it.
Isn't this so good? This is the
This is
magic Neko deck.
Oh, I
by the
love
way,
it.
I actually don't know if it's still in rotate.
In print
What's the
or
word?
not,
Print.
or-
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it says for
It's so cute.
it's awesome. I actually use this pretty extensively.
I just want to use it for cards. Like the next time I play a card game with my
Yeah.
friends, I want to whip that deck out. Like,
That's why I
here,
love it.
Sumo cat.
It works in so many ways, and it says for wait, what was it? What do I need to cultivate more of in my life? And for the sumo cat, it's flexibility, routine, and ritual.
Oh,
Those are good things for the autumnal season. And then
absolutely.
for what do I need to store away for the coming winter, I got the Joker, which is a little
Oh.
poopy cat.
Oh, it's a
poopy
little
butthole.
calico
He's a
poopy
little-
kitty.
He's a little poopy cat. And it says shit, the opposite of shit. So I need to store away useful things. and
Does
not
it actually just say shit?
yeah, it literally says shit. So I gotta prioritize for sure and stop carrying the bullshit around. You know?
Oh.
Store what matters instead of the nonsense. And the cats have spoken.
So I got for what do I need to cultivate more of in my life, I got the Queen of Pentacles, which I find interesting, and I do think that I've been a little
That's perfect.
idiotic with my money lately. So I think that just like being a little more like focused on my home life, my taking care of my body, taking care of my space, and taking care of my
Grass
finances.
touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some grass touching. But the last time I tried to touch grass, I broke my wrist. So I'm like, "What universe?
Well,
what are you
listen.
trying to teach me? Are you? Am I supposed to be afraid
Listen, when
of, like,
you're
going
on
outside?"
wheels, when you're on wheels, you're above ground.
That's true.
You're
I wasn't
flying.
really, and that's true. I realized when I was skating that I was craving that feeling of the wind going through my hair, and so I was like, I was
Mhm.
looking for the feeling of flying and gliding. I wasn't looking for grounded energy at all.
Yeah.
And then in my what is ready for harvest, I got the star, which I found kind of cool too, and I'd
Ooh.
like to hear y'all's take on it. But maybe the artwork that I've been working on, the inspiration that I've been pouring
Yeah.
stuff into, it's about time
Yeah.
to harvest my the hard work I've been
Yeah.
pouring into this new rebrand for my content and stuff.
That's
And,
exactly what I
the
thought.
stuff
I
like
love
the
that.
stuff you've been working towards, yeah, just in general. Like
Specifically,
the star
too.
is like the guiding light, so the stuff that you've been working towards, it's ready to
And
harvest.
then store
The
away
lake in your drawing is a star, so it always
my
like
gosh.
reminds me of that.
You know,
Yeah.
actually, when I was drawing the fairy in the water, I was thinking of this card, and I was thinking of Temperance. I don't have one of her feet on the ground and one of her feet in the water, but I was thinking of those cards, so it's kind of an inspiration for these a little bit.
Very
in the
cool.
Star and Temperance
Cool.
card. And then my what do I need to store away for the coming winter? I got the Knight of Pentacles reversed, which I
Ooh.
think means like wait until winter to be lazy and like sloth like, and for now
Don't worry about
for
winter
now,
quite
you
yet.
need to be
Keep working.
productive and save your laziness for when it's cold and you don't want to do anything. So be productive, work hard, and make some money and save that money, dumbass. Like quit going on my spending sprees.
So for mine, no surprise for me. What in my life is currently ready for harvest? I got the Queen of Cups. So just being there for people, being empathetic, and just
Fresh
caring
heart
and-
energy.
Yeah. And then what do I need to cultivate more of in my life? Frustrates me because I got the Chariot, and I've been getting like Temperance, Knight of Pentacles. Actually, yesterday I got the Chariot reversed, and it was like you can't go forward just yet. And now it's like, what do you need to cultivate going forward? And I'm over here like I'm trying. I
think like for me, it's also like when you came with the podcast today, like you had a graphic ready to go and a blog post ready to go. I think it's also just like pursuing a path. It doesn't necessarily mean you need like making progress. Like,
Yeah.
So
And
what was your blog post, by the way? Did you want to?
Oh, well, we haven't got into
Oh, I'm
me.
dumb.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Yeah. And then
real quick, I want to just jump in one more thing with the chariot. It's ruled by a Cancer. That's another heart energy thing. So making sure that your emotions are aligned with your goals, you know?
Yeah.
And one thing too, like cultivate is like a long-term investment.
Yeah.
So this is not something that is, what do I need more of right now?
Yeah.
This is like next year.
Yeah.
What do I need to plan ahead
Yeah.
so that I can have this next year? Yeah.
Well, then, what do I need to store away for the coming winter? I got the 8 of Pentacles.
I like that you and I are both kind of like pentacles all around us.
It's so like, what do I need to store away? Like, speaking to what Panthera was just saying, like maybe now is not the time that things are going to be ready for harvest, but putting in that work and maybe like working through that all winter and be ready for the spring, be ready for like the coming seasons. So
that's like a slow and steady showing up daily, baby step, but convicted, like with conviction, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Then
lastly, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like the idea of us pulling, at least any of us that want to, but us pulling them, because then we can kind of showcase to everybody like how to apply the I'm a very much like learn by example kind of person, so I feel like that'll be very useful for
cool.
for everybody.
It's a lot of fun. So then lastly, I have some shadow work prompts for you all for the harvest moon. So our first one is, what are your feelings towards fall and harvest season in general? Are they good and exciting, or sad and loathsome? Why do you feel this way about this time of year?
'Cause it's warm in my heart.
This is one of my favorite times of the year. I love spring, like late spring when it's a couple of weeks before summer, and I like literally this time. The leaves are just now, like we have a tint of the yellow coming. There's some leaves starting to fall. It's still hot in the afternoon. It's still warm in the evenings, and it starts to get really beautiful. And I don't know, but I also hate winter, so the end of fall I'm not happy about.
Like here, fall lasts 2 weeks. So the trees are still very, very green, and then they will be until the end of September. And then for 2 weeks, they will just all fall off, and then it snows. It usually snows like Halloween or November 1st. So we get fall 2 weeks. So
I think it's the most beautiful time of the year.
Yeah.
Just
I don't get time to enjoy
everyone's
it.
like, it's the most wonderful time of the year about Christmas, and I'm like, no, that's fall time.
See,
there is a melancholy to fall. It's
fall,
There's a little bit of like,
that's why I love
sad.
I mean, the Samhain and the Halloween, everything's dying and going away. Like there's a little bit of like melancholy and sadness and saying goodbye but I also think there's like a last hurrah. There's like, this is where I think the gratitude is really like, it really comes in, is like you're suddenly reminded that something's about to go away, so you need to go out and enjoy it while it's still here. It's like a last reminder to enjoy yourself before.
Which this is probably one of the last full moons where it's going to be like warm enough outside to like go out and enjoy it like outside. So get out there and enjoy the bright moonlight.
You need to go do
some. I don't know. I don't like winter. So for me, fall is like,
they're like,
we're doing the shadow work prompts live right here.
Where they're just like laying spread eagle, bare butt ass naked, and soaking up the sunlight through their buttholes. It's called perennial sunning. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's some meme that was going around on Twitter, like making fun of people because they were like, this is the biggest kept secret. Like, why don't more people sun their buttholes? And then like a skin person came in, like an esthetician, whatever they're called, and she was like, because it's the most sensitive skin on your body.
Can you imagine having a sunburn there?
Well, and it's also like, because it's so sensitive, like she was like talking a lot about like skin cancer and stuff, so like, don't sun your buttholes, everybody.
So on that note,
prompt number 2.
Man, that's crazy.
What are your feelings towards sunning your butthole?
You heard it here first at Celestial Cafe, folks.
Are you looking forward to the colder times ahead? Why or why not? Are there any particular reasons that you have these feelings?
I love snowmen. Woo!
I love winter.
I do not like the colds. I do not.
It's
I
funny
love
because
it.
like in like games like Stardew
Are you
Valley and
wither?
Harvest Moon, I love the winter because it means I can go do everything else besides just watering my crops every day. I can go fishing, I can go to the mines, I can go romance somebody. Like so, but in
Yeah.
real life it's like opposite for me because like in winter I don't go do other things. Like I just like I have no choice but to
Hibernate.
stay hibernated in my bed with 8 layers of blankets around me.
See,
I
for
love
me, it's-
winter specifically. Like, I mean, I love winter in general, but specifically, I like it because it is a time for rest and regeneration
Yeah.
and like taking things slow.
Yeah.
It gives me an excuse to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
When that's usually my default state and I feel guilty about it. So then I finally get a nice like core like 4 months where it's just like snow days, blizzards, like I can't leave the house. What are you talking about? And I love power outages. I love the feeling of
I do actually
curling
like
up.
power outages too.
Like,
How do
I love
I
it.
liked them when I was a kid, but what am I supposed to do now? Are you kidding me? No.
I like
Party.
to
Also, I'm very traumatized because we had that winter where there was a bad blizzard and our new generator stopped working after 24 hours. Joke was on us and we had to go like 7 days with no electricity. It was 4
That's
days
too
with no
long.
electricity. And I so power outages are like a trauma trigger for me now. Like no.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, like, it's fun when it's like for like 3 hours.
It's fun
Yeah.
when it's a summer afternoon and a big thunderstorm comes through and you can go dance in the rain.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love like summer thunderstorms and the power goes out. It's great. I will say, so normally I despise winter. This is the first year that I've looked forward to winter in a long time. And I think I'm just so ready for rest. This summer has been hectic as fuck. Like I have just been like going like balls to the wall, I feel like nonstop for like
Panthera said that.
what month is it? Like 4. I'm sorry.
It's funny because you're not normally the one that does cuts.
I am passionate.
Yeah, Panthera's fired up. Yeah.
I'm working so hard and I just want to make YouTube videos again and stream again and relax and like
And stay at home.
yes,
Yeah.
like it's been great. I love summer and I love being able to be outside, but like something about summer, like it makes me like I don't want to be at my computer anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm just gone. Like I might just start
Yeah.
being like, see y'all. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
go out for summer and I'll return back with maybe some vlogs or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so I'm looking forward to like catching up on because like I haven't streamed since like June on my channel. I've been keeping up with collabs and everything, and like I haven't made like a YouTube video since then either. I just feel so behind on all that.
You're
So
not
I'm ready
behind
to,
though.
like-
This goes back to the vibe check that I was talking about. You're not behind. Take it easy, take it slow,
But I
and
am though.
surrender to the
Like-
flow. I don't think you
No.
are. You've been doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
I agree with that.
Oh.
Definitely don't start
That
anything new
hurts.
now.
Don't go in. Don't
No,
do
I'm
like
gonna
I'm
wait
doing
until after the
Panthera
land,
and
at
stay up
least.
for
Yeah.
30 hours straight working because sleeping is getting in your way of finishing something.
I'll do my best. But yeah, so this is like the first winter where it's like I'm actually ready for you. Like I'm looking forward to this, and
That's awesome.
yeah. Well, so our last shadow work prompt is: what are 5 things that you're grateful for right now, and what is one thing that you can do this week to honor each of those things?
I'm
Cool.
grateful for Toasty and for the Celestial Cafe podcast and my friends here, and for not having a broken arm anymore, and for the fact that I had enough energy to take a shower before the podcast today, and the dinner that my brother brought me home while we're podcasting. That's what
Yes.
I'm grateful for right now.
That's awesome. I'm grateful for tofu.
Both of our
Uh.
first gratitude starts with a toe. There's a secret hidden there.
Oh.
I'm
toasty and a
grateful for
tofu.
my toes.
I'm grateful for
Perfect.
toast.
That's fair to be grateful for. Life would be weird without
Yeah, you get
toes.
really good balance from your toes.
Yeah, Moody's Point taught me that. From the Amanda Show. Anyway,
Oh my god.
was that too niche? Okay, sorry everyone. Okay, I'm grateful for Splatoon 3. I'm grateful for calendars. They're really cool. You can get really fun calendars.
looking
So how
around
are you
her
going
room
to
right now.
appreciate that calendar this week, Duxley? Because you guys are skipping the second half. Like, how are you going to appreciate that
You
calendar?
sound like the guy from Anchorman. I love lamp. Are you just looking around the room right now and saying that you love the things that you see?
Maybe. But sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you gotta go, thank you, calendar. Thank you, yucky old couch. Thank you, Christmas wreath that's been up for 2 years. Oh yeah, thank you, Cooper. Cooper's cool. He's a real one. And I'm thankful for my incense holder. That is a little frog, and it looks like he has a little penis. That's awesome. I'm glad. That's my 5 things, at least for right now. Could change it any minute.
Cool.
Mine, I am grateful. This past weekend, I get to meet my favorite author of all time, Tamara Pierce, and I also get to meet Peter Beagle, who has shaped my life, the author of The Last Unicorn. So that definitely. I'm also grateful to my best friend lending me the money so I could actually go, because I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel before I get my school money tomorrow. I'm grateful for getting my school money tomorrow, and it's also like double what I thought I was getting this semester, so exciting. Splatoon is coming out at midnight, and I'm just like I was like really into the competitive scene, and like a bunch of people are coming back, including myself, to competitive, and just like it's nice to see like all these old faces again. So that's been fun, and I am also grateful for Animal Crossing.
Video games.
Me too.
So this past week I have been staying up and like spending so much time with my friends playing Animal Crossing, and we haven't done that in forever, and it's just been like really great to spend time with each other doing that. So
Wow.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like a dickhead. I'm thankful also for my mom who birthed me, and my partner who loves me, and my cat who knocked over her water bowl today.
All right, do we want to jump into Fuchsia's section?
okay, I'm gonna make this as quick as possible because we have been going on.
We're on
for
2 hours.
a while.
We're chilling. We're hanging out.
So
We are chatty.
yeah, I want to make the editing process as easy as possible for Shady. So Mabon is coming up, or Mabon, depending on how you pronounce it. Mabon is the English pronunciation. Mabon is the American, because we make everything sound ugly.
Whoa. Opinions.
My opinion. It is the celebration of the Autumn Equinox. The equinox this year is on September 22nd, which is our next podcast day. But the celebration starts the 21st and can go through all the way to the 29th. Some people like just celebrate within that time frame. It's the second harvest festival, where like a lot of the food are like nuts, apples, pumpkins, corn is really starting to come in. So a lot of the harvest for that is celebrated. The big keywords for Mabon is balance, gratitude, and community. Like the spring equinox, it's equal. So emphasis is put on balance in our lives and a move into a decrease or banishing phase in our lives, because the days are going to start getting shorter, like banishing bad habits, relationships, or just things like budgeting, not spending too much time, money, resources, or whatever. This is the time that people would look at the amount of the harvest and start to plan how much to put aside for winter. So you want to bring that energy into what you're looking to banish or reduce. It's a celebration of gratitude for both what came before and what will come after the equinox, both physically and spiritually. It is community and harmony focused. that you all, like everyone in the community, contributes to the common goals. They support each other, find each other's strengths and weaknesses to balance the community. This is also on the note of community focus. This is also the time of year where a lot of pagan pride festivals happen. And a lot of the pagan pride festivals will often take canned goods as donations for the local food pantry in lieu of actually paying admission to it. So that's another point where community is bringing in and helping those who need it. This is very tied to the descent of Persephone into the underworld, as we mentioned earlier. Persephone is the daughter of Demeter. I just say Demeter. So she mourns Persephone's absence by draining the land of its fertility and greenery, and everything dies and everything turns gray until Persephone returns in the spring. This is also not part of the pagan religion, but it's also the Harvest Moon Festival in China, which has a lot of the same themes. It and that also goes back to at least 1000 BCE. Like, it is an old festival, and it's the second largest celebration in the Chinese calendar. The only one that's larger is the Chinese New Year. It's a time for visiting and celebrating with family, making peace if there was a falling out with any family members, and just generally gathering together with good vibes. Okay. So a lot of that is also like what we see in Mabon and the just general vibe of here. So like it's a lot of themes that Panthera talked about with the Harvest Moon as well. Mm-hmm. It's also a really good video game.
True. Very true.
Some ways to celebrate are a community dinner or gathering to give thanks and enjoy the fruits of your labors. Toast, like just a little toast to each other's health and to gratitude. Moon festivals happen that you can go to. And a really nice magical way is to create a food blessing spell, if you're a kitchen witch, for a happy and harmonious home, to bring that energy in. And then the foods for this, the common foods are pumpkin spice and pumpkins themselves, apples, cider pie, baked, candied, however you want to eat them. There's a plethora of apples right now. Going back to the point of it being community focused, this is when me and my friends go up to Michigan. We go apple picking and we have a whole day together. It's our fall extravaganza. So one activity you can do is go apple picking. Other foods are like corn and squash and all those nice hearty foods to celebrate with. And I went over this really quickly, but I do have a blog post. What? If any of you want to check that out for all the information that I just went over here and a little extra commentary.
Heck yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pull this back over here to our main feed. But yeah, I suppose that's going to wrap our conversation up. We definitely ran a little long, but this was, we had a lot to talk about, okay? We had a lot of thoughts and feelings to share. So
that's the Pisces moon.
Thank you everyone so much for hanging out and joining us for this conversation. This is a live stream podcast, so you can catch us live for the next episode on September 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/HeyShadyLady. And we're going to be talking about energy healing, energy cleansing, protecting your energy, cord cutting, evil eye energy, that whole kind of field, which I'm very excited for this conversation.
Yeah.
And you can find more information on our website at celestialcafe.org. You can get links to our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, the Discord server. Join our Discord community if you would like to hang out for the Last Unicorn movie night. We'll do that sometime in the next 2 weeks. I really want to watch that movie. I've been thinking about it a lot lately anyway.
I
so.
have it on my computer, like ripped from the DVD.
But yeah, you can find out more information on our website. We've got the Discord server. We'd love to hang out and have more conversations with y'all. Share your tarot spreads from Panthera's. Share your tarot cards from Panthera's tarot spread tonight. And I think that's everything to say. So we will see y'all in a couple of weeks for the new episode. And I hope you all have a wonderful September. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.